Something that I found very interesting in one of your interviews, it was talking about, you wanted to add all these different ingredients to everything. Like you went to even a larger facility industry and said, can we do this? And they even told you no. And so you decided to come up with like your own machine, didn't you? Like to
Yeah.
you took parts of things that didn't go together and you made this machine to make it work for you. How did you just decide? Was it the person saying it can't be done that made you go, I'm going to do this?
Okay. So I'm probably going to say a little too much here, but I think it's okay.
Okay.
What's fascinating is when I first started, I most natural food companies are made by contract manufacturers.
Hmm.
In other words, you already find somebody who has the equipment to make the products you want to do, and you leverage their manufacturing capabilities. So that way, you don't have to spend lots of money on having your own, grinders or jar fillers or labelers. And so when I first started, I went and I tried to find contract peanut butter manufacturers. And when I told them my recipes, I'm adding honey, I'm adding maple syrup, I'm adding chocolate,
Right.
coconut. They all said, that can't be done with our equipment. And I was like, well, what do you mean it can't be done with your equipment? I'm using a food processor at home, and you guys have the most state of the art grinding equipment. How come I can make it and you can't? I said, well, we're using grinders, and these grinders are like, gears. And the
Hmm.
gears kind of come together. And so the peanuts come down, and the gears grind, and it grinds and mashes all the peanut butter or almonds into almond butter. And when you introduce honey or maple syrup, it can gunk up those gears, and the sugars of that will caramelize, and it will wreak havoc on your equipment. So they just decided that they won't do it because they can't. And then that's when I had I guess an aha moment out of
Hmm.
frustration. Well, then I'll just use food processors instead of grinders. And
Makes
so
sense.
our competitive advantage is that we don't use grinders. We actually use food processing equipment. And what that does is instead of pulverizing and grinding the nuts, we actually delicately slice them. And by slicing the nuts, you actually maintain the flavor. You get a much different texture. And it's been a big deal for us. Now it's completely accidental. And so our
Hmm.
almond butter and peanut butter tastes nothing like our competitors, even though it's the same exact nuts.
Hmm. That's so cool. You don't even, yeah, you don't think about it because you go to the big guys, right? And they're supposed to know these things or do these things that you think of. And so I just thought it was so cool because whenever I saw that, I was like, good for him. Way to like come up and do something like that. Because too many small business owners that we talk to, like whenever they come into that roadblock, it's like they don't move forward with it. They just think,
Right.
oh, I can't do it. I guess. Well, whatever.